Is it bad that there's a side of me that wants the White Rabbit to win? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to the finale, episodes 7 and 8 of Devil May Cry. And so last time we found out the truth and the history of not just Mary Arkham, but also the White Rabbit. The White Rabbit's not a demon. He is not a Macayan. He is human. He is a human boy, an orphan who was bumped around from foster home to foster home, had a horrible life, was mistreated, and ended up finding a portal that he associated with his favorite book, Alice in Wonderland. He went through, found himself in Mackay, and ended up in the care of some Macayan refugees, or I guess more akin at the time, lower class citizens. He lived with them, he grew up with them, and he ended up becoming a good-natured guy who wanted to save them. He worked to help build a portal to get out of there and tried to bring them into the real world, but they met with a pretty grisly fate, with all of them being killed. Him being the only survivor amongst everyone there who was, his friends and family at that point. And meanwhile, with Mary's story, we saw her growing up and how her father got progressively more and more obsessed and eventually ended up turning himself into a demon who killed his own wife and almost killed Mary as well, but he was able to be killed himself, able to be stopped himself, leaving Mary excessively traumatized and specifically very, very hateful demons. So this caused her to, grow up involved in all of this and start working for Darkcom, and that's why she's been so aggressive against demons this entire time, and why it's so much of a big deal now that her entire worldview on that is being shaken. I'm still very curious to see her reaction once she finds out that all the refugees were killed by Banes. She's not going to be happy because she actually trusted them as much as she could. She actually found herself wavering on her convictions there, and she specifically had it ordered for them to be helped, not hurt. So when she finds out all of them, the children included, were violently and horrifically murdered, I hope she goes nuts, and I would love to see her be the one to kill Banes, sorry. I think that would be satisfying. Meanwhile, obviously Dante's going to go after the White Rabbit, and yeah, we know as much of a tragic character as he is, he went insane after his family was killed by Darkcom, which also shows him and Mary having a very specific beef with each other, and why he would very specifically hate her. But he's gone literally completely insane, has modified himself, and put this rabbit mask, sewed it onto his face and shit. He's a tragic character, but he is also a bad guy at this point. And it's because of the circumstances and the situations that led him to that, and let's be honest, humanity. But his actions have proven that he's not a good guy with a vengeful streak at this point. He's an insane guy who does need to be stopped. He's even willing to sacrifice other Macayans for his goals, because at this point he just sees them as a means that justify the ends. And it sucks because you really feel fucking bad for him. And it kind of goes to show this entire kind of theme that this series is going with. that humanity is worse than anything they think the Makaians are like. They assume so much because of what the Makaians look like and the idea that they're from hell, even though technically not correct. But it shows that they're truly the ones acting like demons instead. The true villain of this, at least season, is not the White Rabbit. I would say the true villain of this season is Baines. And the White Rabbit is more of a secondary villain. And don't get me wrong, he's still the villain, but Baines is clearly meant to be the main villain. He's clearly meant to be the biggest problem, who's causing a lot more harm than good. I'm just very curious as to how this is going to end. And I hope that, like, the White Rabbit's going to die, obviously. I hope that he's able to find some kind of peace with his death. I don't know if that's going to be able to happen, but I don't know. I feel so bad for him. We'll see how it goes. Let's just begin this, see what it has in store for us, and hope for the best with these final 2 episodes. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, it kind of implied in episode 7 who the guy was. It's not a surprise that it was revealed to be Virgil in the end. Plus, we already knew that Virgil was alive because the shapeshifter's powers were literally stated to only be able to shapeshift into beings that are alive. So yeah. it's obvious, but the reveal was still cool nonetheless. It's interesting that Virgil is working directly for Mundus. I wonder what the exact reason is. I assume next season we're going to find out. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with Baines, because specifically with his voice. Because they're going to probably try to have someone do as close of a, oh my god, what is the word? Impersonation as possible. I'm hoping they don't try to do like some kind of AI bullshit, because that would be fucking terrible for so many reasons. Hopefully they just have a different voice, and they definitely have a bit of a time skip here, so they can probably explain it away with like, oh, his voice has changed, maybe due to just time passage, or maybe even due to the like the toxic air of like of Makai has fucked up his vocal cords or something. They'll find a way, I'm sure, and I hope it's just not AI. But yeah, so the rabbit unfortunately didn't get a like satisfying end. I mean, I feel like with as insane as he had unfortunately become, I don't think there was a way to make that, especially after he, transformed and everything. I don't think there was a way to give him a satisfying, like, even bittersweet end at that point. Like, obviously he wasn't going to have a fully happy ending because he had become such a horrific villain. But still. It's like I wanted there to be at least some peace, and just nope, did not get that. But it was kind of his own doing, and again, as much as the reasons are sympathetic and you can kind of see where he's coming from, it's it's not great. And unfortunately, Mary is still drinking the Kool-Aid. She has not completely escaped her brainwashing yet, though we don't know what's going to happen after these next however many years it took to build, like, even the facilities we saw, the detention center. We're literally putting these demons in concentration camps. It's like, yeah, the symbolism is not lost on me. And on top of that, it's just like playing American idiots as they're going into Mackay and killing all these people, enslaving the rest. Yeah, it's very obvious what is being said here, and it's valid. Um, I still stand by that at the moment, Baines is still the main villain. That he is the worst person we've seen so far. That's just undeniable. Um, it's just it's going to be interesting to see how they work his character in season two with I assume Virgil and probably Mundus taking part in it all too. So I'm very curious to see what happens next. I I'm actually really shocked that Enzo died. I really am. That one I wasn't expecting. Um, though the fact that he did sacrifice himself was pretty cool, and like it's like at least he went out like as a real one. You got to give him that. He went out in a great way, and just all the final battles we got in these two episodes were great. The final battle with that one like warrior guy was great, and the way Dante finished him off by closing the portal while he was in between it, that was so cool. That was so fun. I love shit like that. Like that's such a creative, fun way to kill off an enemy. Um, and like the way we fought all these other bad guys, the two different battles with the rabbit and everything. The only villain we didn't kill is Baines, so I don't blame Mary, by the way, for sticking with her guns and, continuing to believe in Baines. She has been brainwashed for so long because of her trauma. It's like, I don't blame her. I really don't. The fact that she is seeing things in a different light, though, is going to make her redemption from that much better. Because we're building up to it in a believable way. We're making it completely understandable how she's going to be going from someone who is this traumatized and this anti-demon who does, drink the Kool-Aid and have this unfettered belief in Baines to someone who is going to be on Dante's side completely. And we're seeing how that develops and grows, and that's great. It's really well written. It's good character writing. And I'm hoping that it continues to be a slow process next season. Now, the one dude, I don't remember his name, but the one who was kind of working for the White Rabbit because of his daughters, he absolutely could have survived. He was shot in like the shoulder area, like right about here, and he fell into the water, and it wasn't that high up. He could have survived. He might come back in the next season. Dante is currently being cryogenically frozen. That's fascinating. That's definitely leading into a time skip. And again, we already know there was a time skip because we saw that the entire detention facility was built in Mackay. All that shit was going down. So, yeah, next season's going to take place some amount of years after the first. Don't know exactly how long, but Dante's not going to really have aged too much. We do know that. Um, I'm curious on the commentaries that season 2 ends up working with, like, or continuing rather. Because I know that there's a lot of people who were complaining about the commentaries with this season. Um, I did look some stuff up, and without spoilers, of course, thankfully. But there are people who were bitching about that, and we're making like comparisons to a lot of other stuff where demons are portrayed as just evil. And there were some people who were bitching because of, like, Christian shit. It's like, oh, the creator made this series anti-Christian and stuff. It's like, bitch, shut up. Um, it's 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 definitely anti-Christian, and for good reason. Because the majority of Christianity, the majority of Christians out there are fucking terrible people. And they're very much a lot like Banes. So yeah, it's a pretty accurate representation. Um, I'm I'm excited to see more. I don't know when season two is coming. I know it is already confirmed. I haven't like heard if there is like a planned date or even month or year or whatever. And with Netflix stuff, you never know. So, but we will obviously react to that when it comes. This was a great series, and that comes in to the time we talk about its replacement. So I'm saying right off the bat, we're not getting to Ianu, the other one we did with Devil May Cry in the First Impression Showdown, because that was the original plan. We did the showdown with Devil May Cry and Ianu Child of Wonder, and I was going to continue both of them. It was just a matter of, oh, which one do I want to watch first, and then I'll continue the other one after. And we started with Devil May Cry. The problem is, as I've been watching, and as I've had time to really think about Ianu from my first time watching it and everything, I have watched the episode again. I really don't like it. Like, it's possible that it could become better, and I'm still willing to give it one more chance, but we're not going right into it right yet. I want more time to hold off on it. We will come back to Yanu in the future. I just don't want to do it now. It's just a personal thing. I'm like really worried, I guess, that it's just going to upset me that with how like that it might not be that good, that my first impression of it might have been just completely correct and I just won't like it. Um I can't say with any certainty, but I'm not in the right place at the moment. I don't think it's been long enough for me to want to get back to it yet. I want to give it more time, and then we'll come back to it in the future, and we will react to it then. And we'll give it another chance. We'll give it as best a try as we can, and hopefully it ends up proving me wrong. But we'll do that in the future. I don't know exactly how far in the future. I'm going to try to not make it be too long, but we're going to wait for now. And it might not even be on Monday. It might be another day. So the question is, what's going to take place on Mondays? What's going to take over for this slot? I've been telling before that, like, after Devil May Cry and Ianu, I might not even replace anything. Or I might not even put anything else on Mondays, since we already have one show with One Piece and then the YouTube stuff. But there is one show at least that I do want to get to, and that I do want to at least get to right away for this slot for now. I might still end up cutting Mondays back down to just One Piece and the YouTube thing in the future. But for now, we are going to be going into a series that I said after doing a first impression of it, I was going to get back to as soon as possible. Like, as soon as like a slot that I didn't already have something planned for opened up, basically. And this is that slot. So we are going to be replacing this just starting right away next week with To Be Hero X. I reacted to the first episode not too long ago, just like what, a couple weeks or something, and I really loved it. I love the animation styles, multiple, because it does have multiple, kind of like episode 6 of Devil May Cry. Um, I really did enjoy the story. I didn't fully grasp it when I first reacted to the to episode 1. Like there were a couple things I didn't quite understand, which I will talk more about in the episode 2 reaction once we get to that. But I did really enjoy it. It ended on quite a heavy cliffhanger, although it wasn't that hard to see coming like a few moments before. But I'm excited nonetheless. This was a really strong start, and I'm hoping to really enjoy what more this series has, especially considering how popular it is. It's doing really well. And if the first episode is anything to go off of, I can actually see why. I definitely can understand why it's doing so well. Again, at least based off the first episode. Hopefully, the rest of the series lives up to that for me. But, I mean, you never know. And that's why we're going to continue to check it out. I said we were going to get to it pretty much as right away as we could. We're doing so. So, yeah, next Monday, To Be Hero X is taking over this slot on Mondays. That being said, tell me in the comments below what you thought of these final 2 episodes of Season 1 of Devil May Cry on Netflix. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.